Welcome to the Fright Zone.
When you look at, you look at things and you'll get startled, but not often do you get to actually touch and feel and and get bloody and have to actually dive into a bucket of blood with more blood draining onto you to find items, in an attraction. So we try to do that. We try to touch the customer, whether it's in a more extreme situation like the camp out or even at the hayride, which is definitely more family friendly, but we still try to create this non-spectator sport type of attraction where you're not just walking through a museum looking at things. You are feeling your heart pounding, you're feeling things, you're getting touched in some way. Yeah.
Well, we'll have some more questions from Melissa later, but let's bring on our next guest.
We did the first maze for Lionsgate, the Saw film, and we did Silent Hill for Konami Games. We've done a lot of stuff around the country. We've done a lot of traveling to Taiwan and Beijing and stuff, and did some year-round haunts over there. But I think beyond that, when it starts going a little bit beyond your normal October haunts, we've stepped into the realm of Christmas haunts, which I know a lot of people have done before. And this is some of the stuff that we've done, which is our Not So Merry Holiday Haunt, which has been a huge success for us. We started doing that a couple years ago, and we're going to continue to do that for as long as we can. And beyond even that, that's where we started to go beyond. We started doing things for Valentine's Day. So we've done our Newly Dead game, where we've actually done interactive shows where we've had people come down, and it's almost like a dating game show where we've actually had people come down and we've actually done real live dating game shows with zombies, with stuff like that. So we've really taken things another step, and we've done shows and stuff. And that's the nice thing about having a permanent facility where we're at. We've been able to do these things year-round, where we're always hosting events and doing year-round things. Such as that. We've also done Sinister Pointe Live, which was a whole, almost like a Jeopardy style game show where we've had people come down and sign up and they actually get to go on, and we had horror trivia and prizes and all that good stuff. So at our facility, we've been able to go beyond Halloween and take horror year-round the best that we can. Like I said, being whether it's Christmas, Valentine's Day, game shows, and our most recent thing is the hunt that we did a few months back, which was a huge success, where it was a horror-themed scavenger hunt all over Orange County, where we took people to everywhere from the Queen Mary to all some of the most haunted spots in the local Southern California area, and it was a huge success. We sold out both nights, and that was such a lot of fun. It was the first year doing it, and we plan on doing it bigger and better next year. And then after that, we've done things, having a permanent facility, we've done our Dark Market, which is a very, very, very watered-down version of what we have here today. It's more like a horror swap meet. We had a lot of vendors out, and we were able to open our haunted house as well that night to let people come in and see the haunt before we actually bulldoze things and kind of get things ready for the new year. Also, another thing we've done at our facilities, we have horror movie. We have our 4D horror movie nights, where we actually show classic horror movies.
NPR's Netta Willoughby at a haunted house in Los Angeles. Actually, it's more than just a haunted house. It is a scary play in a vacant old home, complete with the kind of special effects you can only find in the show business capital of the world.
There is a terrifying new play in Los Angeles that puts you right in the middle of the scary action.
It's absolutely terrifying. I got kidnapped.
I'm just not going to sleep.
Last
last year I went to one that was more than a haunted house. It was like an interactive haunted play. And this year I'm a producer on the thing. It's called Delusion, The Blood Rites.
It's like Tony and Tina's wedding, but horror?
No, but it's truly like scary.
Genuinely scary. Genuinely scary.
Yes, I agree with that.
Amazing theatrical experience that I've ever seen. You know, like people flying through hallways and stuff. It was ridiculous.
Never experienced anything like this.
This is by far, this takes the cake, man.
It's awesome. I've overcome meth addiction.
My heart is pounding.
I've never heard of an interactive play like this. This was really unique.
Oh, it's so scary. And then they chained me, and I thought the demon was gonna eat my guts.
This is by far the most insane, crazy, cool, different.
This is when I come back again, even though I know the story. The acting was phenomenal. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. You get to be part of the experience of it all, which makes it all different.
It's kind of cool mix of like interactive theater and like a haunted house.
It was great fun.
It really reminded me a lot of like role-playing games like Resident Evil and stuff. Like going inside.
There's a story behind the whole play, and with the story, it becomes more realistic.
People levitating, people like floating over our heads, like telekinesis.
It was worth coming back to see it again.
You are a character inside the horror.
This was so much fun because it was so interactive. It was so, you honestly don't know what's going to happen next.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Nice to meet you,
It's
Leonard.
been a while. Yeah, Leonard.
There he is. Is my head, my bald head, blinding anyone? Yes. No? Okay. Hi, Leonard.
Hi, do you have anything to add to that?
No. No. Super fun, super awesome little passion project of mine, and it's been an adventure to get this thing going and to realize this passion project. And it's been a long road this year to actually get a venue. Venues have been tough, but we got one, and it's pretty sick. It's in Silver Lake this year. How many people went last year to the show? Okay, cool. So yeah, the mansion that it was at last year is being sold, and we might revisit it at some point. But wait, is that you in the video? Yeah. Okay. It's like, yeah, fellow Baldy. That's good. Yeah, this year we have a pretty awesome 33,000 square foot church in Silver Lake. So it's pretty sick. And so we're developing even more of a theater event. It's terrifying. It's even more interactive. I mean, people went to the show last year. You're very involved. You know, you're an integral part of the story, and it's the same thing this year. I'm going to go along the same formula, you know, the same kind of interaction in different ways, in a different venue. So that's what's happening. Make sure you go to hauntedplay.com to subscribe, because we're going to be selling tickets soon.
One of the problems with doing some kind of a haunt that's outside of the box, a little crazy, a little over the top, is capacity, which is always going to be lower. And Melissa, would you mind talking about, because you've got a hayride that I'm assuming has a high capacity, yet the campground has got to be something that's got a lower capacity. Can you explain the differences between the two and the challenges that you have being able to make it even profitable?
Yeah, I mean, capacity for us is probably the biggest thing that we bend our brains on every year. For the hayride, the model is to do a large capacity at the hayride. We didn't set that up, obviously, to do a couple hundred people a night. So you have to look at, obviously, your open nights, the hours of operation, and then how efficiently your ride is moving. And with a hayride, that's going through the woods with live actors and music and 10 different tractor drivers who are all have a different foot, so it gets tricky. You have to pace yourself. You have to figure out, you have to mark things, and you just have to be incredibly diligent about staying on your mark every single night to those capacities. So in order for it to be profitable. So at the hayride, we have a large capacity. We can do 75 to 85,000 people pretty easily at the hayride within a season. Camp out is different. Camp out, we are limited to the space in which we exist, right? Like you can't put 10,000 campers together in a small space. But additionally, you can't just have a massive space where there's all kinds of trees and hills and all kinds of different topography where campers can actually get lost, and then you wake up in the morning and like half of your campers are gone and you have no idea how to find them. So, there's definitely a balance. Obviously, when you have an attraction like the hayride where you can accommodate more people and, it moves like a pretty well-oiled machine at this point, 5 years into it, you can price yourself lower, right? The hayride, for example, like an average ticket at the hayride is somewhere between $34 and $36, and the Great Horror Campout is $149 per person to go. So it's a much different price point, but the experiences are much different. And at Camp Out, you are there for 12 hours, and there's a lot of different things happening. Like we talked about, a lot of different layers. So it literally is just the space in which you're working with, and the throughput. At a maze, it's foot traffic. So it's different. At the hayride, I think we can clock that and capture that better. Yeah.
John, you want to approach that? I realize that because of the theatrical experience that you do with Delusion, that the capacity is lower than what a typical haunted house would be.
Yeah. No, for sure. One of the integral parts of Haunted Play is the intimacy. And so I'm going to stick to the 10 people per person group, that formula. It definitely locks you into a certain number of people a night. And I'm very happy with that. It's worked out well. We got some really great reviews based on not just the show, but just how people kind of come together. It's a good number of people making friends, and you go through this whole experience together, and it's wonderful. But the capacity aspect has always come up, especially when speaking to investors. They're always like, "How do you get more people through? How do you get more people through?" I say, "I don't," and you stick to it because that's what's worked. And it's been great. We don't. This is not. I work in film as well too, and it's. For me, this is it's not a side project. This is my main thing right now, but it's not. It's not. It sounds so cliche. It's not so much about the money here. This is something I've dreamt about for a long time. So, but speaking of that, we are expanding. We're going like LA, Chicago, New York by 2015. So we'll be doing a play in those 3 cities. We're scouting Chicago as we speak, and my hometown. But it's been a bit of a battle for the capacity issue, but I think it's worked out fine. Ticket prices will be a little bit higher this year, but we're not going to. We had like 12 people last year per group. I'm going to try to keep it down to 10. We have the bar as well too, which was an integral part of the show, and is actually going to be more tied into the story this year. You actually stepping your foot onto the property is written into the script. So that's kind of the capacity issue.
What is your ticket price going up to?
Not sure yet. It'll probably be 55, somewhere around there. 55 to 60.
I just
That'll
want to say,
include parking.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, when we attended your event, there was something about the small groups going in, because I think we were with 4 people. There was 4 in our group, and we were combined with a group with more people.
Yeah.
And just the experience alone, by the end of the experience, I think the whole group were all best friends. And it was a really cool experience because you got to go in, you didn't know anybody, but the story itself and what you had to offer brought everybody together. Everybody had to work together, and all of a sudden you became a team, and it was this really cool experience. By the time at the end, going into it, I had no clue who these people were, and by the end, when we came out, we were all talking, we're like, oh my God, so did you, you know, and it was a really cool experience that brought people together, that was something a little different and unique, and that was something I really liked about it.
That's awesome. Thanks, John. Yeah, that's actually on the flip side of it. It's a wonderful thing in bringing people together and all that. But it had a bit of a negative effect in sometimes, because you'd have a group of 6 people who are super excited about it and want to do it and are participating. This show, by the way, those of you who've gone, you realize that participation is absolutely essential. You must let yourself go, or else you just will not have the experience you should. And people who do that come out, you know, experience it the right way, but there are other people sometimes that are just, you know, talking throughout it or just don't care. You know, you're always going to get those groups. So sometimes it's actually ruined it for others, which is too bad. So we got to, you know, so we're gonna do background checks on everybody. I think that'll be key. But yeah, most of the time it's awesome. Yeah, you get to see people like coming back to best friends, going to the bar, having drinks together, and like.
How do you handle capacity?
What's that?
How do you handle capacity or lower capacity?
We don't really shove them all in, pack them all in, and burn the house down. You know, it's tough being independent because we do hit those signs. I mean, towards the beginning of the season and stuff, you're fine. You know, you're pacing people out, and that's a big thing we promote. I mean, with being an independent haunt, we promote. You know, we space people out. We don't want to be the big guys where we shovel you in like cattle, and you know, we want everybody to have personal experiences. I mean, they have the ability. I mean, a lot of these guys figured out how to give these people personal experiences, which is fantastic, and that's what we've been able to do at the beginning. And then as you start getting bigger and bigger, you're like, shit, it's getting a little difficult to like space these people out as much as you want to do and give these people personal experiences. But we do, and we've actually started posting signs and stuff like that saying, listen, we want you to understand that you are here. This is not your everyday. This is not Knott's Berry Farm. This is not your amusement parks, and nothing against them because they're great. But we are independent. We strive to give you personal experiences, so your wait times will be longer. You need to expect that. If you don't want to deal with it, move on down the road. But our wait times are a little bit longer, but we make sure we strive to space people out and give people the best personal experience that we can. Beyond that, I mean, we do sacrifice. We do sacrifice the amount of people that we can put through. But to me, it's worth limiting the amount of people at the end of the day.
We on the other hand, I just want to add to that, do make people feel like cattle. We actually cage them in a cage like cattle. We put as many as we can possibly fit, because if it's good enough for the cattle, it is good enough for hair owners. So we're fine with that.